Okay, hey, welcome to another episode of All Nerds from Off the Cuff. Today we have a cool little strap showcase from the brand Straps Co. So basically, strap company reached out and they said, hey, would you be interested to check out some of our straps? And typically, I'm always up for it. Yeah, I can be very picky when it comes to watches that I feature on the channel, but you know what? When it comes to straps, I'm always kind of on the lookout for what's out there, different price points, different collections and whatnot, just because there's so much to offer. And today I will be kind of using as my little assistant here, my Seiko Prospex Mini Alpinist or Baby Alpinist or 2020 Prospex Alpinist or Alpinist inspired watch or 1959 Alpinist, whatever you want to call it. I will be using that to kind of demo a couple of these straps for you guys and just really kind of take a look at what Straps Co has to offer. I have noticed them kind of around Instagram and, you know, various watch groups and whatnot on Facebook. So it's always good to kind of see what they have to offer in hand. And one thing I did notice what came along with this bad boy, that they actually send you a little thing to save 15% and essentially after you purchase. So that's pretty cool. So you just got to tag them essentially and they'll DM you a promo code, which I thought was really cool. So big shout out to Straps Co for sending it in. But with all that said, let's go ahead, zoom the camera out, get these pieces in hand and take a closer look. All right, so looks like there's a pretty decent mix. Here we have, looks like a NATO strap option, which is pretty cool. Here we have what appears to be like a silicone. I'll let you guys take a look at the actual nomenclature there if you want to look these up. So that's pretty interesting. Here we have a nice little rally strap. This one is marked as Desari, so I assume this is probably kind of one of their sub brands at Straps Co, which I totally understand. Plenty of other strap shops have little sub brands underneath. Oh, this one's a pretty nice little suede green option. Pretty cool. And then here we have a very kind of popular design, nice little vintage option with that rustic kind of chestnutty feel to it. So let's actually start off with this one since it's in hand. So this is me opening these live for you guys. Cool. So nice packaging here. And then we also do have quick release spring bars, thankfully. So we'll go ahead and let's get this on. So we'll just prop this here, punch it in. Okay. If I can find it. Okay, yep, there we go. We'll get the other one here. The nice thing about two-piece straps on a watch like this is it is a little bit thicker because of the 200 meters of water resistance. Also, you're not going to cover up that display case back, although many people will say, hey, there's no reason to look at a Seiko movement. You know, it's something that for automatic and mechanical watch lovers, I think it's just something universal that's well appreciated. Ooh, man, that looks good. I dig the distressed finish here, and then the ivory stitching. I think it ties in well to the kind of ivory print there for the numerals. Let's see how this thing wears. Ooh, let's get a little flex in. This is kind of what I'll do to help wear in straps. And you can see this thing has a nice give to it, nice kind of grain, very premium feeling. I like that it's it kind of has one grain underneath versus a different grain on top. But let's see how this wears on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. Reaching around a tripod, so sorry if I look any more uncoordinated. Okay, tuck that there. All right. That looks good. What do you guys think? Very solid. It feels really soft. I have to say, considering how thick that is, that's extremely pliable, and I'm really digging that. So let's keep that on, and let's move on to the next conquest here. Let's go with the green. Let's see how this one. And then here's the little nomenclature there. If you're interested to search out the specific one. All right. Oh, cool. So similar setup where you have the other grain, that kind of black leather on the underneath side, and then on the top side you do get this really nice suede effect. Ooh, look at that buckle too. Something I didn't notice before. Check that out. Fully milled. Even the finger is milled, which isn't always the case. So that is definitely a show of kind of a nicer quality. Also, you get the quick release, and then everything is marked. You see the genuine leather, and then also Straps Co. So pretty cool. I wonder how that would. What do you guys think? I don't know. Maybe with the green dial model. But yeah, overall, check out that stitching. Really clean there, nicely done. I also do like the shade of green and the kind of fringe to it. It does have a nice supple feel, although it's not super fluffy or anything like that. I think that's probably good. You're getting the texture without the fluff, and then again, although it's thick, pretty pliable. So this is typically how I'll break in a strap. I'll just run it over a couple times like this, and then it's pretty much ready to go. And as you can see, quick little, and then now, yeah, it has a little bit more flex built into it, so it can wrap around the wrist a little bit nicer. Next here we have this little number, and it is a kind of rally style strap. Interesting. Let me get these kind of off camera. Sorry about that. Oh, I'm digging this. I like the cutouts. I've always been a fan of those kind of rally style straps. I think they're really versatile. They don't necessarily need to be just on motorsports style watches. You can actually get them. Oh, look at that. Fully milled again. Nice. So that's already something that shows to me anyway. Nice bit of quality above kind of what else is out there, because you don't always get that milled finger. Obviously, typically this is going to be milled portion, but yeah, that milled finger definitely shows a little bit of an extra attention to detail. I like the way they did these cutouts. Typically for rally straps, it can kind of be one of two ways. Either there's a bunch of small perforations or there's a bunch of big ones. I like that they kind of did the flattened circular cutouts versus just the typical regular circular cutouts. I think this kind of gives it a little bit more of a kind of vintage vibe, which I dig. And then of course that finish here where it's nice and worn in and everything also. And the nice thing also about these hole cutouts is they make it even more pliable. So this is gonna bend around the wrist really well, and then of course it's gonna ventilate. So if you are gonna take one of these straps on a great nice drive, you know, you're gonna hit the canyons, or you know, carve out the toge, as they say, if you're into imports. Yeah, this would be a really cool little number, really nice vintage vibe, and honestly the quality here is really nice. Like, I'm surprised, because when I think of Straps Co, I don't think of like super expensive straps. So what I'm seeing here is a lot of, you know, value for money. So that's pretty cool. Nice padded. You can see inside everything is sealed really nicely. So it doesn't have any unfinished features to it. Looks really nicely done there. So very cool. What do you guys think on here? Actually, I think that's kind of cool. I think it kind of gives it almost like a steampunk vibe when you put kind of one of these rally style straps on maybe a non-rally watch. Okay, so let's get into this little number here. It looks like kind of a silicone or rubber style strap. All right. Yeah, a little linty, kind of dusty feel to it. So definitely I'm thinking this is probably silicone. Ooh, I do like that. You see they have a nice channel built in there, so nice and breathable. Again, with the quick release spring bars. You don't get the milled finger on this one, so that's, you know, I mean, this is more standard. The others, it was more of a bonus. And honestly, it probably, because of how much thicker this is when you're locking it in, it might also just be part of the design. It might be by design to kind of make it fit in a little bit better. But I dig that there's the channels underneath. Also, this stitching is a really nice touch, and it kind of makes it a little bit more versatile, I'd say. Because typically with a rubber strap, you're not going to have little features like the stitching. Here, I think that would be nice because it can tie into like white text on your dial, or even a white dial altogether. Or, you know, typically if you have a darker dial, there's white text. So this has a nice vibe to it. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. I'd say the camera's probably washing it out to make it look a little bit more of a true blue. I'd say that to the eye, this is going to be a little bit more of a navy, a little bit darker, and just a hint of purple. So there might be a little bit of color correction going on in the camera, but let's see. Yeah, definitely not really a match for that. But I gotta say again, there's some really nice features. Even just you can see the sharpness of the signature on here. I think that's really nice, and it shows, you know, that there is some real manufacturing quality going on. Look at the way that the holes have kind of a pre-cut, and then they have where it's just recessed a little bit, and then there's the regular hole, and that's only on this side. So you can see there's even more room to breathe there. So I dig that as well. So that's impressive. It makes me kind of want to maybe pull my mini turtle out and try it on for that one. But you guys know I'm mostly a bracelet guy. I do appreciate a good strap now and again. Here, you guys know that we've seen tons of nice. So you do get spring bars with the since these guys all came with quick release spring bars, this NATO came with spring bars as well. And the NATO, very standard in terms of kind of the layout. There's no sliding keepers or anything like that. But you do get milled finger, milled buckle, and you know, I'd say pretty thick, you know, pretty strong looking hardware. Doesn't look anything like luxury, but this nylon feels very premium, really, really tightly woven, a bit thick. So this is definitely something more kind of on the tool watch vibe. Let's see, how's the length feel on here? I can be really weird about NATOs just because I need them to, because if I have a kind of a larger wrist, I either need them to be a little bit longer or a little bit shorter, either short enough to where I don't have to feed this back over, right? So if this was a little bit shorter, or long enough to where I have enough tail to feed back in. So you can see here, there's nothing revolutionary in terms of the fit, but it's definitely very comparable to what you would see on, you know, many other sites. So if you did want to kind of bundle and kind of do a one-stop shop, you know, these definitely stand up to what you're going to see what else out there on kind of the mid-grade straps. There's stuff that's a lot more high-end, and then there's stuff that's way cheaper. This is definitely kind of in that typical quote-unquote premium NATO, where it's just one that clearly the material's nicer, and then the hardware is less generic. So really nice. But yeah, as I've been wearing this, I gotta say, I'm a big fan. I dig the feel. I think this is gonna break in well. It's gonna pick up some nice character, and honestly, yeah, I'm digging all of it. I kind of want to go look up to see what other color combinations they have for this guy. As you know, although I do like that kind of vintageized look, I wonder if they have anything that looks a little bit more crisp, maybe something that's matching more of this kind of grainy black texture. I think that could be really cool on a couple of my, you know, more motorsports oriented chronographs. But the strap itself is pretty nice, I gotta say. And then again, milled finger, milled buckle, very cool. And then I'm sure there's a bunch of different colors for the suede option, but I do like the construction. I can tell that it's definitely, you know, there's some thought that went into there. The nice, the level of the stitching. These are things that I look for whenever I look at different straps. And yes, there are, you know, just like watches, there's kind of that area where, hey, you pay more and it's probably just for the name. But honestly, there's still some objective quality things that are there. So there's still some qualitative, you know, aspects. It's not all necessarily just about you know, the pricing and this and that. So there's definitely some quality here in this little sample section that we were able to look at today. I'm digging this. You guys saw it went in fairly easy. I like that, you know, these are all 20 millimeter. So, but I'm sure they have other sizes ranging in, you know, typically 20 and 22 are going to be the main. For NATOs, I definitely like to keep it to 20 millimeters, because I feel like 22s can just be a little bit thick because there's no taper. I do like the amount of taper that I'm seeing on all of these straps. It looks like it's more than a 2 millimeter taper. It looks more closer. Yeah. That looks like it probably goes down to 16 millimeters, which I like, just because you're going to get just a little bit more of a refined look. Yeah, it looks like it carries over. So, yeah, I dig that a lot. As you can see, when it has more of a dramatic taper, it just makes, it gives you a lot more mobility with the strap, as well as just a more, you know, generally more refined look. I mean, not to say that something like this, where it doesn't look like there's a taper, maybe just a slight taper. This one looks like it goes from 20 to 18. That's still nice and whatnot. It works out. Actually, let's look at that. Yeah, then this is 20 all the way. So this is 2018. This is a more standard taper. It's nice, I'd say, for this rubber, because it definitely wants to be more robust looking and more sporty. So that makes sense. But here, I dig the more dramatic tapers, just because it just gives you kind of a more refined, more versatile look if you want it to look a little bit dressier. And then, of course, on the sporty side, less of a taper is nice. And then on, you know, for NATOs, you pretty much never get a taper. So yeah, I'm digging this. I think that looks really nice. And just to double, yep, it also has the milled finger. So nice little touch there, guys. I challenge you to take a look at a couple of the straps you have in your strap box and see how many of them have the milled finger. And I will venture to say it's pretty much the nicer stuff that will go out of the way and do that and spend that little extra money. So that's a nice little sign for me. Also, when I look at the stitching, you can see here, very uniform, not too much like crazy overlap or anything like that. Nothing really over, you know, sticking out, nothing loose or frayed looking. I dig that. So this, for me, turned out really nice. Yeah, ooh, yeah, I'm digging how supple that feels. If I can, sorry, the camera wants to focus on all these straps back here, but yeah, this is a really nice look. Feels really balanced. It does have even, I'd say, doesn't look like it tapers too much going from the case down to the buckle end, but you know what? It might not really have to, because of how supple this thing is and how flexible and pliable. So nice that you don't really have to have a break-in period. You guys saw, as soon as I put this thing on, let's see, can give you an idea just how much give you get in there. So really nice. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked the video, please do hit like, and if you haven't, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.